Greetings, math fans. Alright, so this is actually day 2 of solving systems of equations using the elimination method. Alright, so we learned in the last lesson that using the elimination method, you're basically going to add the equations together, or subtract depending on what you're going to do, but you're going to combine the two equations together, and one of the variables is going to be eliminated. So that was, like I said, day 1, and it was relatively easy because it was already set up for you where when you do add them together, they will automatically cancel out. Now what's going to happen is you're going to have to multiply an equation by a number so it makes the variable cancel. So you can basically add the numbers together. And so what I really mean by that is if I look at my first example here, math fans, see how it's already opposite? You got a y and a negative y, and it cancels out. Well, let's look at the second one here. There's a negative 2y and a positive 2y, and the y's cancel. All right. Well, what's going to happen now is it's not going to be that way. They're not going to cancel. So you have to make them cancel. You have to multiply an entire equation by a number, and then it'll allow it to be the opposite. So you're always looking for opposites. So whether it's 5y and negative 5y, or 18x and negative 18x. Okay, if you have something like that, it's going to cancel, and then you're good to go. All right. So let's do the first two because these are actually just review of the past days. Okay. So draw a line underneath here, and I get 2x. And of course the y's cancel, and 2x is equal to 18. Divide by 2, x equals 9. Alright, and then I'm going to plug it back into, again, it's your choice, but I'm going to plug it back into the first equation just because I have less negatives. Alright, and so I get 9 plus y equals 6. Subtract 9, I get y equals negative 3. So there you go. Those are your two answers for that problem. Okay, relatively pretty easy here. Same thing with this guy. Okay, the y's cancel, so we get 10x is equal to 20. Divide by 10, x equals 2. And again, your choice. I'll still plug it into the one with positive value here, right there. I could plug in the top one because they're smaller numbers. That's okay as well. So I get 7 times 2 plus 2y equals 18. So 14 plus 2y equals 18. Subtract 14. I get 2y is equal to 4. Divide by 2. Y equals 2. So x and y are both equal to 2. Okay? Alright. So let's move on to the next one. So if you notice now, math fans, for number 3, it can cancel out. If you add this together, you'd get negative x plus 2x. Well, that's obvious it doesn't cancel. That's going to be x, and then y plus y is 2y, so that doesn't cancel. So the deal is I need to multiply one of those equations by a number so I get an opposite. And you always want to look to see what's the easiest. Okay, and basically for number 3, well, let me talk about what it means to be an easy problem, an easier way to do something. I have my choice. If I want to eliminate the x, so pay attention here, math fans. If I want to eliminate the x, I'm going to multiply the top equation by 2. Do you guys agree? Because what it's going to do is it's going to give me negative 2x on top, and then on the bottom it's going to be 2x, and then when I add it, they cancel. Okay? So that's one possibility, is multiplying the top equation by 2. And let's look at another possibility. I can multiply, well, in order to get rid of the y, the only thing I need to do is multiply it by a negative number. So if I multiply the top equation by negative 1, what that does is it gives me a negative y on top and a positive y then, and then they cancel. Okay, I could also multiply the bottom one by negative 1. If I do that, the top, let's get rid of this guy, the top would give me y, and the bottom would give me negative y, and they would cancel as well. So I kind of have a choice. I really feel like 3 different things I can multiply by. Okay, the only thing that doesn't work is multiplying the second equation by something to get rid of the x here. That doesn't make sense, because what are you going to do? Multiply this by what? 1/2? I mean, you could, but that would be crazy, okay, to multiply it by a fraction. So that's like a really horrible choice. I mean, if you did, it would be negative x, and then 1/2 times 2 is x, and it doesn't work. I mean, it works. It cancels, but then you're going to multiply by 1/2, and you just never want to multiply it by a fraction here, okay? So my personal recommendation, I like to eliminate the negatives. Okay, when you eliminate the negatives, or when you make something, when I say eliminate the negatives, you don't have to multiply something by a negative number, because when you have to multiply something by a negative, I think it makes it complicated. I really do. All right. So this is what I mean by that. Let me erase this here. So I am going to choose to get rid of the x. That's my favorite, and so I'm going to multiply this one by 2. See, I didn't have to multiply it by a negative. That's what I'm saying. If you multiply one of these by -1, it's just easy to make a mistake. So the top gives me negative 2x plus 2y equals -4. Okay, and the bottom is 2x plus y equals 7. And now the x's cancel. And it was just a really easy choice to multiply this by positive 2. So you get 3y, 2y plus 1y is 3y, and 7 minus 4 is 3. So divide by 3, y equals 1. Okay, and then again, plug it into whatever you want. I'm going to plug it into the second equation because less negatives. Again, you get the same value no matter what, but it's 2x plus 1 equals 7. Subtract 1, 2x equals 6, divided by 2, x equals 3. Okay, pretty easy. Again, what I'm going to do here is, you can see I'm going to multiply that second equation by 2, because that's going to give me a 2y on top and a negative 2y on the bottom, and then the y's cancel. So 5x plus 2y equals 7, and 8x minus 2y equals 32. Okay, the y's cancel, and I get 13x equals 39, and divide by 13. And again, most of these problems, guys, are going to work out nicely for you. If they don't, probably go back and check. Okay. All right. I'm going to plug it back into, it's your call again, less negatives. So I'm just going to choose this guy right here. Plug into that x. So 5 times 3 plus 2y equals 7. So 15 plus 2y equals 7. Subtract 15. 2y equals -8. Divide by 2. Y equals -4. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so with number 5, the deal here, math fans, is that y is all by itself. Alright, I need it, remember, I need the variables on one side, so the variables on one side, and the numbers on the other side. Alright, and obviously it's just 3y here, so I need to move the x over, so it's really easy. I'm just going to subtract 2x from both sides. So that's going to give me negative 2x plus 3y is equal to 12. And then the other equation is x plus y equals -1. So now we're good to go. The x's line up and the y's line up. Perfect. Okay, but I still have to do elimination method. So again, what's your choice to eliminate? I would definitely eliminate the x because it's already opposite signs. I don't have to multiply by a negative. So if I multiply this one by positive 2, so let me just rewrite the top one first. It's negative 2x plus 3y equals 12, and 2x plus 2y equals -2. Okay, so now, of course, the x's cancel, which is perfect. So 5y is equal to 10, divided by 5, y equals 2. All right, and then I'm going to plug into, I'm pretty sure I'm definitely going to plug into this guy right here. Oops, into this y right there. It's positive. So we have x plus y. That's what I'm plugging it into. So x plus 2 equals -1, which is easy now. Subtract 2, and I get x equals -3. So again, be careful with your signs here, math fans, when you're solving, okay? Okay, for number 6, this is kind of a nice equation because it is already lined up, right? You have the x's lined up and you have the y's. We just need to eliminate one of the variables. And so I'm going to choose to eliminate the y because that's already, it's one's negative y, one's positive 3y, so I just need to multiply the top equation by positive 3. It's pretty sweet. So I get 12x minus 3y equals 21, and 5x plus 3y equals 13. So I get 17x equals 34, and that does divide nicely. It should. Okay, so x comes out to be 2. And then again, I'm going to make a choice to plug it into the second equation because there's no negatives there. Okay, again, it's your call. So if I do that, I get 5 times 2 plus 3y equals 13. So 10 plus 3y equals 13. Subtract 10. 3y equals 3. Divided by 3. Y equals 1. Okay, so that's it. I get x equals 2 and y equals 1. Alright, let's keep going. It's not too bad. What are you going to eliminate here? Again, the choice is definitely to eliminate the x here. Because why would you do the y? I mean, you have to. That's just, actually tomorrow's lesson is eliminating the y because you have to do 2 equations. You have to multiply 2 equations. But here I'm just going to eliminate the x. Now here I got to multiply by negative 2 because this is negative 4x and that's positive 4x, and that's the only way to eliminate that. So I'm going to get negative 4x minus 10y equals negative 16, and 4x plus 7y equals 4. Okay, so the x's cancel, and I get negative 3y equals negative 12. Divide by negative 3, y equals 4. Okay, and I don't know, I'll plug it into, this one doesn't matter, it's the same thing. So I might as well plug it into the second equation. Okay, so I get 4x plus 7 times 4 equals 4. So 4x plus 28 equals 4. Subtract 28. 4x is equal to 4 minus 28. Again, use your calculator, it's fine. It's negative 24. Divide by 4. X equals negative 6. So there you go. X is negative 6 and y is 4. Okay, so this next one, number 8, I'm going to eliminate the y, and that's pretty easy. I just need to multiply this one by positive 2. So you get negative 3x plus 10y equals 4, and 8x minus 10y equals 6. So the y's cancel, and we have 5x equals 10. Divided by 5, x equals 2. Okay, it doesn't matter again, but I'll plug back into the first equation or the second equation. So 4 times 2 minus 5y equals 3. So 8 minus 5y equals 3. Subtract 8. Negative 5y equals negative 5. Divide by negative 5, and y is 1. Okay, so 2 and 1. Okay, I hope you guys are catching on. I'm just doing more of the same stuff here. This is a little tricky again. If you notice, math fans, the x's and y's don't line up. So please don't start adding and subtracting to move things over. They're already on one side. I can physically just move it around. So the first one is 3x minus 2y equals 6. That's a nice order, right? X and y. And the next one, I'm just going to move the 5x to the front plus 6y equals 38. Okay, I don't want people starting to like add and subtract to move the 6y over. It's already on the correct side. Okay, you don't need to move it over. It just needs to be rearranged. All right, it's like saying x plus 3. Well, I can say 3 plus x. I don't have to like subtract and move things over. I can just swap the side or swap the location. Okay. All right. So once I have that, now what do we want to eliminate? Well, I'm going to eliminate the y. So you're going to multiply this by 3. because that one needs to be negative 6x and the other one needs to be positive 6x. So we get 9x minus 6y equals 18, and 5x plus 6y equals 38. Alright? And again, the y's cancel, so we get 14x is equal to 56. And that does come out to be nice, even though it doesn't look like it. Divide by 14, x comes out to be 4. Okay? And then I'm going to plug it into, I'm going to choose the smaller equation. I don't like that big 38 and big numbers. So anyway, I get 3 times 4 minus 2y is equal to 6. So 12 minus 2y equals 6. Subtract 12. Negative 2y equals negative 6. Divide by negative 2. Y equals 3. So x is 4, y is 3. Okay? Same thing, math fans. Now, in this is different. The variables are not on the correct side. Okay? It's not like I can just rearrange stuff. I need to move the 2y over, and I need to move the 15x over. Okay? So let me show a little work here. If I want to subtract, let me write it out. 5x equals 2y plus 12. So if I want to subtract 2y from both sides, I get 5x minus 2y equals 12. And then for the second equation, let me just kind of write it up here. 3y equals 15x minus 33. I'm going to subtract 15x from both sides. And that gives me negative 12x, or negative 15x, okay, plus 3y equals negative 33. So now I have two equations here, guys. It's this one and this one. And let's, just because I'm lacking a little room here, what do you want to eliminate? Well, do you guys see that if I multiply this one by 3, I get 15x, and then the other one then I'll have negative 15x, and then it cancels out nicely. Okay, so let's do that. It's a little, I'm running out of room here a little bit, but I get, let me write the top equation, negative 15x plus 3y equals negative 33. And then the bottom is 15x minus 6y equals 36. So that cancels, and we get negative 3y equals 3. And divide both sides by negative 3. So y equals negative 1. Just a little bit bigger numbers, a little bit more work there. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to plug it back into, again, it doesn't matter, you can plug it back into the one that's highlighted here, they highlighted in yellow, or I can plug it back into the original equation. It doesn't matter, just one of them. And so I'm going to choose this equation right there. I'm plugging it back into that y, because x is already solved. So watch this, 5x equals 2 times negative 1 plus 12. So 5x is equal to negative 2 plus 12. So 5x equals 10. Divide by 5. X equals 2. Okay? Alright, and then the last two, things are already lined up. That's nice. So what do we want to eliminate? Well, I have to multiply something by a negative, so let's just get rid of the x. But something is going to happen here. Ooh, very exciting. Everyone remain calm. Okay, so the top equation you get 9x minus 6y equals 4. And the bottom equation you're going to get negative 9x plus 6y equals negative 3. So if you notice, math fans, both variables cancel. We talked about this before. We talked about it when you had when we did substitution. Okay, so if that cancels, you get 0 on this side and you get 1 over here. And of course, since the variables, let me write that out, variables cancel. And since this does not equal 1, 0 does not equal 1, it's no solution. Okay? So we're going to do the next one because I'm going to show you what's going to happen, but that means no solution when the variables cancel and the left does not equal the right. Very, very important. But the variables have to cancel. Okay, so number 12, what do you eliminate? Well, again, let's eliminate the x because I just have to multiply the top one by 2. And so if I multiply the top by 2, I get 4x minus 6y equals 24. And the bottom is negative 4x plus 6y equals negative 24. So if you notice, the x's and the y's cancel, so you get 0, and the right side, 24 minus 24 is 0. So if it's basically 0 equals 0, or if the left side equals the right side, and this is true, then it's infinite solutions. Okay? So these are special cases. But again, this is when the variables cancel. Okay? So this is just a little bit more on elimination, and like I said, it's multiplying one of the equations by a number to eliminate that variable. In the next lesson, it's where you have to multiply two equations by a number. All right, but it's not a big deal. It's just you got to figure out what numbers to multiply by so the variables can cancel. Okay, but that's it for this, math fans. Have an outstanding day. Adios. Goodbye.